Happy Friday, everybody. So we entered a new month yesterday, so I think it's a good time to set some new goals for the next month, 30 days I believe in May. We're almost to the middle of the year already, and summertime is approaching soon, so setting goals for each month is a good way to refresh what you're trying to really accomplish for the year and overall for your own life. So setting goals is always a good thing. You want to set your goals high, even if you don't reach them. It just gives you something else to try to attain. Good morning. How are you? But yeah, since it's a new month, we should have a new outlook and new goals. Do you have any goals, Michael, for the month? Like I said, we should always set our goals high. You should always dream big and never doubt yourself, because you're more capable than you think. But today is Friday, so if you don't have any goals set, it would be a good time to think about it for the month. Yeah, we don't want to go nuts, that's for sure. Since you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, then you should, like I said, take a load off this weekend. Think about what's making you feel that way, and then try to work on a solution. That would be ideal. But that's how I felt last week. I was just feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated, not in a good way, like from just like, working with the public. That's always stressful. It's difficult. Yesterday, a lady came into the shop. She said that, she liked my sister better that worked here. I was like, you talking about me? She was just a rude old woman, to be honest. But you have to deal with people like that. That's just part of life. Take it in stride. Don't take it personally. There's a lot of idiots in the world. You don't have to become one just because they are. You want to be the bigger person. You can't prevent everyone from being rude and just like, I don't know, not a good team player in public. That's something that I've learned over the years, is just not to take it personally. Don't take the bait. To be the bigger person, to show them that you don't have to act that way, that you don't have to respond in the same way of what you're receiving. So it's just something to think about over the weekend. Oh no. And cars are just so expensive now. It's almost like buying a house. It's just crazy. I would say there's cars.com. You can download the app. I found my car on there. You can put like a price range of what you can afford or what you're willing to pay. And then it took me about a month, but I did find a super good deal. I got my car with 900, not 9,000, 900 miles on it, and 10,000 off of the MSRP. So that's a good place to look for a good deal if you are in the market for a new car. I am one, I just don't like to overpay for something, especially like long term, like a car, and then the interest rates are so high right now. The prices haven't gone down. So yeah, that sucks. what I would recommend, since your car is still moving, hopefully, Michael, just to save some money while you're still driving your old car, and download that app and just see if you can find anything in a comfortable price range that won't strain your budget. I hope that helped, Michael. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but so that should be your goal for the month, is to try to get yourself some more dependable wheels in a cost-efficient way, which can be, like I said, difficult in this economy. But like, so income tax just passed, people do buy new vehicles for around income tax, so you might be able to find an individual to buy a car from, or if you know someone who is a mechanic or has any like experience like that, it's always good. Or like, say your dad or something like that, it's always good to bring them whenever you are car shopping, so you don't end up with a rust bucket on accident and just not know. So that's something that I kind of do. I always bring my dad to check out the car before I finalize the deal. And then, you know, like with inspections and stuff, like I feel like all they do is just, oh, here's a fee, there's a fee, oh, registration fee, oh, what about your property taxes? Property taxes are a forever rent. My mom was telling me yesterday that property taxes used to be a couple $100 a year. Now it's a couple $1,000 a year, or even more. Our house, our insurance, and our taxes are paid through our escrow, which is included in our note. So our note can change from year to year. Our house note, since we've been in the house and since 2020, has increased about $400. So that's significant, and I'm talking $400 a month. I'm very happy. I'm just going to give you guys some advice. If you never owned a house, whenever you do decide to buy a house when the market gets better, know that you do not want to go to the top of your budget. Oh, like, so for instance, our house note when we first moved in was a little under $1,200. Now our house note is almost $1,600. So if we would have went at the top of our budget, then that price increase could have sank us and we could have lost the house. So you definitely do not want to go to the top of your budget. You want to be closer to the bottom or the middle for your first house, just to be safe. That's something that we didn't know purchasing our first house, so I just want to let you guys know that if you have escrow, which is, I guess, the safer bet, because you don't have to pay like a bulk of taxes at the end of the year, but it's very fishy, I'll say, just like every big transaction. It's like, you just want me to understand as much as you want me to understand. You don't want me to really understand. But that's how escrow feels. It can fluctuate from month to month. You could have money in your account or a deficit in your escrow account. It's like, what kind of is that? Like, so it's just something to be aware of if you ever do hopefully purchase a house, or if you haven't, you know. I'm gonna go check out your page, Michael. What kind of content do you make? I definitely need more watch time. I have the subscribers, but my watch time is very low. So that's something, a goal that I'm gonna set for this month, is to try to get more watch hours to figure out a way to get people interested and motivated. I don't know what kind of content, if you guys have anything y'all would like to see from me specifically, let me know. I would love, you know, a little bit of inspiration. That's why I've been trying to get on here and talk to you guys. Yeah, honestly, I used to not agree with that, Michael, but now that I am a homeowner, I do agree with that to a certain extent. In our house, not only, like I said, did our note go up, which is not something that'll happen to you if you're renting, we had a pest problem there. Our house is off of the ground, and there was some hole underneath our house, or it's still underneath our house, and we had big animals getting into our attic, and there was no way for us to get them out. So like at one point we felt like, oh my god, we want to burn this place down, but you can't. It's yours, you can't move. We did find a solution to the problem. If anyone lives in a off the ground house and they have pest problems, there is such a thing called a no dig fence. So they can't like dig underneath your house to get underneath. So if anyone ever has a problem like that, it was really like a living nightmare. We could hear the animals scratching in the walls and in the ceiling. So yes, renting is temporary, so that is good. If you don't like where you are, you can leave. You also don't have to worry about issues like that. You just call the landlord and the landlord takes care of it. So definitely renting is not a bad option. If you think about it, whoever has, it's kind of like a car. Very few people have their cars paid off. Very few people have their houses paid off. So that's another forever bill, almost, you know, like unless you're older and you do own your house. So if your rent is in the range of what a house note would be, I don't see the harm in renting, to be honest with you. Especially until the interest rate goes down. Interest is very, very tricky. It can go up on you very fast. Like if we would have bought our house at this rate, we bought it in 2020 at like 2% or something, but now the interest rate is at 7%. So our house note would be almost $1,000 more than it is now at the same price. You're just paying that much more in interest every month for 20 to 30 years. I don't even know how long it is. It's a forever contract though, so always be cautious. In that department too, it's just like a car. You can get a lemon, you can get a problem house, and then it's your problem to deal with, and you can't move and just, you know, move away as easily as if you were renting. Yes, kids can be a pest for sure. We don't have any kids right now. We just got married 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. It's gonna be 2 years in July. So it is something that we're thinking about. So would you recommend having kids, Michael? How many do you have also? But I'm definitely gonna go check out your page. You know, the best way to form a community online is to each other, tell each other what you're thinking. Like I can definitely feel you on the watch time for sure. I do have like I said, enough subscribers, but I'm not anywhere near the watch time that I need to be. So if you want to just, you know, run my videos in the backdrop of your computer at work, that would be great. 3 kids, that's awesome. Like I said, we are thinking about having kids, and it's definitely something that has to happen sooner than later because we are both a little bit older. But we do like our quiet life. Sometimes it's almost too quiet though. Our life can get boring because we don't have any kids or a whole lot of responsibility really after work. So we do just like doom scroll, watch a lot of TV. We definitely could have a little bit more life in our house, and I think that would make it just more interesting. I know kids are a handful, but they also teach you how to have a new perspective on life. So that's something that I look forward to, hopefully having kids, as long as it's in the plan for us. 2 boys and 1 girl. That's a nice combo. So at least your daughter will be protected by her brothers. I grew up in an all-girl household, so we have our dad pretty well trained. But I always wondered what it would be like to have a brother. But then I had a little nephew that came into our life. He's almost like a little brother to me, and not what I was dreaming of. But like I said, for this month we just need to find some goals, whether it's with our family, with our careers, with our health, with our finances, our vehicles, our houses. It's just something to consider. It's a good point of the month to start a goal. So just think about it this weekend. Think about what part of your life needs some type of improvement. But that's really what I got on here to talk about today, was to try to set goals, to try to always be the bigger person when it comes to just, public relations, just being out in public, dealing with people. Like the lady yesterday, I already knew that she was a Karen. She came in and verbally assaulted me a couple times prior until I did her a favor. And then that's when she turned and started to like me and treat me like a person, which was lovely. And then she came in and insulted me yesterday that she liked my sister better. It's like, I am the sister, okay? This is not a TV show or anything. It reminds me, we've just been watching You. Has anyone watched You this season? It's a crazy show, but they had 2 twins on it this season. So just when she told me that yesterday, it reminded me of that. I was like, I wish I had a twin that I could send to work, right? Or just to send to like events or just anything. Be like, hey twin, go, go, go. That would be great. Talk about multitasking if you had a twin, right? But yeah, You is definitely highly recommended if you haven't watched it. I believe it is on Netflix. Does the new streaming layout drive everyone else crazy like it does me, or is it just me? I'm always like, what app is it on? I don't have the best memory, and I just like things to be simple. I do a lot of troubleshooting at work, and when I get home, the last thing I want to do is troubleshoot or anything like that. So it really drives me crazy. I love like the layout of cable. I'm old school, and now with, like I said, the new layout, it's like, oh, I have to go here, I have to go there. It's like, are we going forwards or are we going backwards? Like I said, it's just a pet peeve of mine. But I always have to ask my husband, I'm like, which app is it on? Which app is it on? So that can be frustrating at times. Does anyone have a favorite streaming app? Also, we've been watching The Last of Us. It's based off of a PlayStation game. It's actually a really, really good, just the way that they set it up and the storyline. I always joke with my husband at work sometimes when you try to get out of there, there's just like such a demand for what we do that like it's like people like zombies outside waiting for you. They're like just waiting always. So it's always hard to leave work. There's always someone who's pulling at you. You just have to do the best that you can and get through the day. But so yeah, that's gonna be my goal for the month, is to work on my watch time. It has been better. Michael, if you do need some watch time to do lives like this, I have gained probably, I don't know, like 40 hours of watch time, which is significant. Before, I was getting, I don't know, really no movement, very little to no movement on my watch time. I do get a lot more engagement on my shorts than on my long form content, so that's why I decided to try to do these lives, and overall I have had better success with them for my watch hours, so to speak. So I'm hoping to get monetized by the end of the year. I know that's everyone's goal for the most part. Semi-passive income would be great, especially people that work full-time, 40 hours a week. And then I also have my hoop shop, so a little bit of semi-passive income would be lovely. I've been having hand problems with taping my hoops, and I don't know if I'm getting like tendonitis in my hand or anything like that, but you always want to try to reduce any strain or any like repetitive motions or anything at work, because that is really what will catch up with you in the long run. I have been trying to rest my hand as much as possible in between taping hoops. I just have gotten a big rush of a lot of taped hoops. The same thing happened, it was crazy, in 2020 when everything went down. I thought my hula hoop sales would plummet, but they actually like increased tenfold. People were looking for something to do at home, so it was crazy. Like when I thought my business was gonna sink, it really flourished. So always, like I said, be open, and you never know what life is gonna throw your way. You just have to roll with it. A business, and you can relate this to YouTube because YouTube is a business. There will always, and my mom told me this a long time ago, there will always be ebbs and flows. It will not always be straight up. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. So always have money saved and be prepared for an off week, even an off month. Sometimes an off year is even possible in the business. So always just, have your ducks in a row. Be prepared for the next month to not be as good as the last, or potentially to be better. Like I said, some things are out of your control. Like in 2020, but that was a blessing for me. That's when I my actual work hours, and then I started making more hoops at home. I will say that making hoops makes me happier than working and serving the public personally, just because it's really difficult to always show face, to always be smiling and greeting people no matter how they treat you. But I will be honest with you guys, for the most part, the public is very, very kind. They really are. I would say 80% of the public have good intentions, so with that number, your odds are good that someone's going to be, kind and patient back with you. So it is nice to deal with the better percentile of the community, but then you will always have that 20% or so that will give you a hard time. It's just one of those things, you have to deal with. But you don't have to tolerate verbal abuse, like with the Me Too movement. Like, I don't let people come and harass me anymore at work. It's like there's no reason to be commenting on anyone's or body at work while they're out there because they have to work. It's not because they're looking for attention at a bar or something like that. So that is one thing that has been nice about the change in pace with socializing, that older demographic won't be like, oh honey, you put on a couple pounds, or just men being weird. To be honest with you, it's gross. It makes you feel gross. No one really wins at the end of it all. So it's like, we want to be treated like humans and respected like humans. It's funny because I am almost 40 and I am Botox free. I tell my husband all the time, I have looked like a young girl for most of my life. I've been treated like a young girl for most of my life. So I want to look older. I want a seat at the table with the men, like that is my overall goal. I don't want to be looked at as a piece of meat. I want to be looked at as a brain, a person who has something to offer at a business table. So that is I would say my overall goal is that I do want to be at the table with the men more than likely. Hopefully there are some women at the business table once I get there, but I do like to be respected more for my mind than my physical appearance. And I would think most people who have the correct mindset on life would feel the same way. Vanity is just such a gross thing, in my opinion. Once you start to judge your face and your physique, there will always be something you want to change, and then you might end up morphing into someone you don't like. It took me a long time to gain the confidence to love myself, to appreciate my uniqueness and my features and all that. So I just wasn't willing to look like everyone else. I've always strived to be different. So the last thing I want to do is to go to a young girl who was taught to put it here, there, and wherever. All the Botoxers used to pick on my face because I have a full face, and now everyone looks like me. So I don't know. Like I said, that's your choice to make, but I have chose to keep my face in its original form. Because like I said, I have always been treated like a little 18-year-old girl, and I'm almost 40. I'm 39 years old, and I just want to be treated like an adult. And that's another reason why I chose not to do anything to my face. And I've never done any type of plastic surgery whatsoever on my body. And it's something that I've thought about, and then I ended up not doing. And I actually am very happy that I made that decision, because I have fallen in love with the version of the self that I am, and I'm happy with who I am. I don't, like I said, want to sit there and micromanage myself, because then that's when things can get dark and heavy. You just have to appreciate, first of all, being healthy. You don't want to be injecting chemicals and all this stuff into your body for unnecessary procedures, or any trauma to the body is a point where cancer can start to develop, or Botox definitely goes into your bloodstream. I don't care what the doctors tell you. It is a billion-dollar industry, so they will tell you that. It's just like a lot of industries. There's money to be made, and they don't care about the longevity of it, honestly. I've heard that people that do it very young, eventually their skin gets stretched out and they start to look older. It's like, isn't that what you're trying to prevent? So just always be grateful for what God has blessed you with, and don't overanalyze. You are always your biggest critic. So just be kind to yourself and appreciate your uniqueness and what makes you different. I always, like I said, had a pretty unique look, but I always pride myself on being different, even when it comes to like fashion and stuff like that. Clothes choices. I don't want to look like everyone else. I want to stand out. I want to be different. So it's just something to think about, you guys. I'm almost where I need to be for the day. So I hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend. think about your goals for the month. And I'll be back on here sometime next week, so you guys just be waiting on that. I also did a new workout video this week, a HIIT workout, high intensity interval training. So go check that out, and like, comment, and subscribe.